नमस्कार।
All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Chori Chora Centenary celebrations in Gurakpur district of Uttar Pradesh at 11 a.m. today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India can be net security provider in Indian Ocean region. Prominent Indians including Lata Mangeshkar and Sachin Tendulkar support government's stand on farmers' protest. United States extends New START nuclear arms control treaty with Russia for 5 years. And year-long birth centenary celebrations of legendary classical singer Pandit Bhimsen Joshi begin today. As the nation fights the COVID-19 pandemic, we begin with a message of precaution to stay safe and protected by following these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki doori for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Chori Chora Centenary celebrations in Gurakpur district of Uttar Pradesh at 11 a.m. today via video conferencing. The day marks the 100 years of the Chori Chora incident. Mr. Modi will also release a postal stamp dedicated to the Chori Chora centenary during the event. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that Chori Chora has a special place in the history of our freedom struggle. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath will also be present on the occasion. More from our Gorakhpur correspondent.
Year-long celebrations will begin from today. School students will take part in morning march pasts in all 75 districts of the state. The main function will be held at Chori Chora. People will pay tribute to our great freedom fighters on the martyriums across the state, along with police bands playing the national tunes. The state government has launched a dedicated website, chorichora100.com, to sensitize the young generation about the sacrifices of our great freedom fighters. Today's event will also be streamed live on the website. The Chief Minister has ordered to include the historical event in the state board curriculum. People are uploading videos in salute posture on the website chorichoramahotsav.in in large numbers. Aditya Shukla, AIR News, Gorakhpur.
Legendary singer Lata Mangeshkar has joined Indian personalities including cricketer Sachin Tendulkar, actors Akshay Kumar and Ajay Devgan in expressing support to the government's stand on the ongoing farmers' protests, saying that the country is capable of solving problems amicably. The 2001 Bharat Ratna awardee Lata Mangeshkar's tweet came after the Ministry of External Affairs reacted sharply to the comments by certain sections on farmers' protests. The 91-year-old singer took to Twitter and shared a note with the hashtag India Together and hashtag India Against Propaganda. She said India is a glorious nation and we all Indians stand with our heads held high. She said, a proud Indian, she has full faith that any issues or problems we face as a country, we are fully equipped to resolve them amicably, keeping the interest of our people in mind. Indian cricket skipper Virat Kohli and vice captain Ajinkya Rahane also made similar appeals using the hashtag India Together. The government yesterday categorically said that the Indian Parliament has passed reformist legislations relating to the agricultural sector after a full debate and discussion and urged people to ascertain facts and have a proper understanding of the issues at hand before rushing to comment on such matters. On recent comments by some foreign individuals and entities on the farmers' protests, the External Affairs Ministry said in a statement that these reforms give expanded market access and provide greater flexibility to farmers. The laws also pave the way for economically and ecologically sustainable farming. The ministry emphasized that these protests must be seen in the context of India's democratic ethos and polity and the efforts of the government and the concerned farmer groups to resolve the impasse. External Affairs Ministry said the temptation of sensationalist social media hashtags and comments, especially when resorted to by celebrities and others, is neither accurate nor responsible.
The External Affairs Ministry said in a statement that a very small section of farmers in parts of India has some reservations about these reforms. Respecting the sentiments of the protesters, the government has initiated a series of talks with their representatives. Union ministers have been part of the negotiations and 11 rounds of talks have already been held. The government has even offered to keep the laws on hold, an offer iterated by no less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The ministry has termed it unfortunate that vested interest groups are trying to enforce their agenda on these protests and derail them as witnessed on 26th of January. It said some of these vested interest groups have also tried to mobilize international support against India. Instigated by such fringe elements, Mahatma Gandhi statues have been desecrated in parts of the world. The ministry called it extremely disturbing for India and for civilized society everywhere. It also added that Indian police forces have handled these protests with utmost restraint and hundreds of men and women serving in police have been physically attacked and in some cases stabbed and seriously wounded. With Anand Kumar, Suparna Saikia, AIR News, Delhi.
Home Minister Amit Shah has said that no propaganda can deter India's unity and the country stands united and together to achieve progress. In a tweet, Mr. Shah said that no propaganda can stop India to attain new heights. He said, propaganda cannot decide India's fate, only progress can. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has said that India can take on the role of being the net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. Mr. Singh said that we are living in a challenging geopolitical landscape where countries not only have to face the threat of military aggression but natural calamities which includes pandemics like COVID-19. The Defence Minister was speaking to Aero India, the biennial defence trade exhibition in Bengaluru yesterday. He said geopolitically, India is a reliable part of the Indian Ocean region and can take on the role of being the net security provider in the region.
Geopolitically, India is a reliable partner in the Indian Ocean region and can take on the role of being the net security provider in the region. Air power has and would continue to play a critical role in maintaining regional stability and peace in the region. The freedom of maneuver provided by air and space capabilities enables us to exert influence in a sustainable and scalable manner. Indian Air Force is at the very forefront of offensive capability with its reach, speed and precision.
He said that at times when a pandemic like COVID-19 has wreaked havoc across the world, it is imperative for us to strengthen our relations with the country with whom we share converging views on key global issues.
India will host the Indian Ocean Region Defence Ministers Conclave today on the sidelines of Aero India 2021. The broad theme of the conclave is Enhanced Peace, Security and Cooperation in the Indian Ocean. The event will commence with welcome address by Defence Secretary and addresses by Defence Ministers of different Indian Ocean region countries. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh will give the concluding remarks. Till 30th of January 2021, there is total confirmed physical participation from 18 countries, including Defence Ministers of 4 countries, Maldives, Comoros, Iran and Madagascar. The conclave is an initiative to promote dialogue in an institutional, economic and cooperative environment that can foster the development of peace, stability and prosperity in the Indian Ocean region. Bharatiya Janata Party National President Jagat Prakash Nadda, who arrived in Thiruvananthapuram yesterday on a 2-day visit to Kerala ahead of the state assembly elections, slammed the ruling party, that is, the Communist Party of India Marxist, and said that Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has lost his credibility.
And I find that BJP is going to gain support from the people of Kerala as far as the ensuing Vidhan Sabha election is concerned. People are disgusted with the present government. It is a government full of corruption, rampant corruption, may it be gold smuggling case, the irregularities in the life mission, the Sprinkler data scam, the K-phone scam, the e-mobility scam, and KIIFBI has certainly embarrassed the people of Kerala.
Kerala Assembly elections are scheduled to take place this year. However, the dates of the polls have not been announced yet.
President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 4-day visit to Karnataka and Andhra Pradesh beginning today. He will leave for Bengaluru this evening. Tomorrow, the President will address the valedictory function of the Aero India 21 at the Air Force Station Yalehanka, Bengaluru. On Saturday, Mr. Kovind will visit Madikeri, Kodagu district of Karnataka to inaugurate a museum at the erstwhile ancestral house of General Timaya. On Sunday, the President will grace the 23rd annual convocation of the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Bengaluru. On the same day, he will also visit the ashram of the Satsang Foundation in Madanapalle and People Grove School at Sadum in Andhra Pradesh before returning to New Delhi. The government has said that the Indian Space Research Organisation, ISRO, has got a structured technology transfer mechanism to transfer the identified technologies developed by it for spin-off and other commercial applications on non-exclusive basis. In a written reply to Lok Sabha, Union Minister of State for Atomic Energy and Space, Dr. Jitendra Singh, said that so far around 363 technologies have been transferred to more than 235 industries. Some of the popular technologies are Li-ion, distress alert transmitter, sensor, special materials and coatings.
The government has said at present there is no proposal to launch a new pension policy for central civil pensioners. In a written reply to the Lok Sabha, Minister of State for Personnel, Public Grievances and Pensions, Dr. Jitendra Singh, said that in order to improve the pension process to facilitate pensioners, the Department of Pension and Pensioners' Welfare had developed Bhavishya, a common software module for ministries. The Reserve Bank has directed select non-banking financial companies, NBFCs, and urban cooperatives banks to implement a risk-based internal audit system. In a notification, the RBI said all deposit-taking NBFCs, all non-deposit-taking NBFCs with asset size of 5,000 crore rupees and above, and all urban cooperative banks with asset size of 500 crore rupees and above will have to implement the system by March 2022.
In Uttar Pradesh, an FIR has been filed against former Aligarh Muslim University student Sharjeel Osmani at Hazratganj police station in Lucknow for a speech he delivered in Pune. The complaint was filed by Anurag Singh, a resident of Lucknow, for allegedly hurting religious sentiments and using objectionable words against a particular community in the event on 30th of January in Pune. Union Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has said that the Govardhan Yojana will not only make the country's energy sector self-reliant, but also reduce energy imports of the country. Mr. Pradhan stated this at the launch of the unified web portal of the Govardhan Yojana in New Delhi. He said that the portal will help in real-time monitoring of the various steps being taken by the government to realize the waste to wealth mantra of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. More from our Bhubaneswar correspondent.
The Union Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister, Mr. Pradhan, said that in the coming years, the Govardhan Yojana and other parallel schemes will help boost the country's self-reliance in compressed biogas, ethanol and biofuel. He said this will also ensure an additional income for the farmers to the tune of 1 lakh crore rupees. Mr. Pradhan said that these programs are intended to transform the country's Annadata, food producers, into Urjadata, energy producers. He added that the government targets to replicate the success of Indore in producing energy from waste in every nook and cranny of the country, which in turn will inject vibrancy into the rural economy. Dinesh Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
In Tamil Nadu, the 52nd Memorial Day of late Chief Minister Annadurai was observed today. He was the political scion of the state who formed a strong foundation for the Dravidian politics for decades together. More from our Chennai correspondent.
The ruling AIADMK and the opposition DMK party paid tributes to Anna at Chennai today. Chief Minister Palanichami said that Annadurai was synonymous with Tamil Nadu politics. DMK party members led by MK Stalin paid tributes to the leader at Anna Memorial. Members of Parliament Kanimozhi, Dayanidhi Maran, Tol Thirumavalavan and others paid floral tributes to Anna statue inside Parliament. It is Annadurai, the late leader of the DMK, was instrumental in the making of the political stalwart late leaders Karunanidhi and MGR. Joy, AIR News, Chennai.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Chori Chora Centenary celebrations in Gurakpur district of Uttar Pradesh at 11 a.m. today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India can be net security provider in the Indian Ocean region. Prominent Indians including Lata Mangeshkar and Sachin Tendulkar support government stand on farmers' protest. United States extends New START nuclear arms control treaty with Russia for 5 years. And year-long birth centenary celebrations of legendary classical singer Pandit Bhimsen Joshi begin today. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Education has prepared Standard Operating Procedure (SOP) for reopening of the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas based on the guidelines of the Ministry of Home Affairs and Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. All precautionary measures like sanitization of the Navodaya Vidyalayas, arrangement for classes and stay of students in the hostel with social distancing and preparation of COVID management protocol to meet the emergency situations have been already taken care of. Every school has also prepared its own procedures based on the SOPs of the state government and in consultation with the district administration for effective management of the COVID situation by constituting a task force. Accordingly, the Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalayas will open for physical classes wherever the state government has allowed to open schools, initially for classes 10th and 12th. Further directions will be given shortly in respect of other classes based on availability of accommodation and devices to students. India's trajectory of leaping across landmarks in its fight against the global pandemic continues. In a significant achievement, India has become the fastest country in the world to reach the 4 million COVID-19 vaccination mark. A total of over 41,38,000 people have been administered COVID-19 vaccines in the country so far. India's fight against COVID is bringing daily success on other fronts as well. 14 states and union territories have not reported any deaths in the last 24 hours.
Talking to AIR News, Dr. Neeraj Nishchal of AIIMS, New Delhi, has said that provisions in the budget will strengthen the healthcare system in both rural and urban areas.
COVID-19 has taught us that if we are not prepared, these type of health emergencies can easily overrun healthcare infrastructure of even the best of countries. Now, health has been taken as one of the key pillars in this budget, which is a very welcome step. Strengthening preventive, curative and well-being segment of health across the country is the need of hour. And this budget has focused on nutrition, sanitation and pollution, which again are very important cause of preventable mortality in the country every year. So overall, it's a very promising budget, and it's important that we focus on the prevention of the outbreak of such epidemics in the future, because this leads to numerous problems, which includes not only the economic aspect but the health aspect of due to other diseases.
Dr. Nishchal said that budget allocation of 35,000 crore rupees will ensure that people receive the vaccine without any difficulty.
We all have waited eagerly for a vaccine to arrive. Now that vaccines have arrived, a lot of misinformation regarding this vaccine is being circulated on various platforms. We have to be careful regarding these misinformation. Always remember, it's not vaccine, but vaccination is going to prevent this pandemic and this pandemic. So it's important that whatever misinformation is being circulated is taken care of, and we come forward, take vaccine whenever our turn comes without any hesitation.
Now an update regarding the vaccine in different parts of the country. The next phase of COVID vaccination will start today in Uttar Pradesh and will continue till tomorrow. So far, more than 4,63,000 health workers have been vaccinated in the state. More from our Lucknow correspondent.
Dr. Manoj Shukla, General Manager Regular Vaccination, National Health Mission Uttar Pradesh, said that during the 2 days vaccination mission, today and tomorrow, overall 2,352 vaccination sessions will be organized. Vaccines will be given to 1,70,000 health workers in 1,600 sessions today, while on tomorrow 752 sessions will be organized for vaccination of frontline workers as well as healthcare workers. Mop-up round on 15 February will be the last chance for those health workers who could not get vaccinated during this drive. Mr. Shukla said that all those beneficiaries who have been vaccinated till date in state are healthy and normal. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Lucknow.
In Bihar, 2,62,784 people have been vaccinated in the state so far. 40,462 health workers were vaccinated for COVID-19 during the past 24 hours. No side effect has been reported from any part of the state. Meanwhile, COVID-19 recovery rate has improved to 99.02% in Bihar, which is 1.94% more than the national average. In Jharkhand, the second phase of the COVID vaccination drive began yesterday, where more than 1.5 lakh frontline workers will be inoculated with Covishield vaccine. A total of 67,333 people have been administered with COVID vaccine. More reports from our Jharkhand correspondent.
Around 11,667 health workers and frontline workers were administered with COVID vaccine on the first day of the second phase of the ongoing COVID vaccination drive. Frontline workers, including deputy commissioners of 4 districts, were also inoculated with COVID vaccine. No side effect has been reported from any part of the state. Meanwhile, the recovery rate in the state has gone up to 98.71% and 453 active cases are yet to be recovered from the viral infection. Shilpi, AIR News, Ranchi.
All colleges in Maharashtra will reopen from 15th of February. Maharashtra's Higher and Technical Education Minister Uday Samant said that colleges will reopen with 50% capacity and follow all COVID-19 standard operating procedures. More from our Mumbai correspondent.
Maharashtra's Higher and Technical Education Minister Uday Samant has said that considering the demand to restart the colleges in the state, he held the discussion with all the Vice Chancellors of the university via video conferencing on February 1st and has given the directions to prepare SOPs for the curriculum, exam timetable and hostels for restarting colleges from 15 February in the state. He said that he also discussed the issue with Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray and 50% students in each class will be allowed to attend the colleges on rotation basis. He also made it clear that the rule regarding minimum attendance of 75% for students has been waived off for the current academic year. He added that universities can decide on whether they want to conduct exams in offline or online mode and reschedule their semesters accordingly. While schools for higher classes have restarted across the state, colleges continued to conduct online classes for its students. With Nisha Rani, Shailesh Patil, AR News, Mumbai.
The United States has extended the New START Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, Nuclear Arms Control Treaty with Russia for 5 years. Announcing the move, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said it made the world safer. He said an unconstrained nuclear competition would endanger us all. President Joe Biden and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin reportedly discussed it on phone a week ago, and Mr. Putin signed it into law on Friday. The treaty had been set to lapse on 5th of February as the Trump administration had refused to approve the extension. Now the pact has been extended to 5th of February 2026.
The first cricket test between India and England will be played in Chennai tomorrow. Tickets for the first test will be restricted to Tamil Nadu Cricket Association member clubs only due to the pandemic. Even though the state government has allowed 50% spectators in the stadium for all sporting events, the 2 India-England tests in Chennai will be played in front of empty stands. The year-long birth centenary celebrations of the Dawn of Music, Pandit Bhimsen Joshi, will begin today. A 2-day event has been organized in Mumbai to commemorate the timeless legacy of the great musical maestro by Ritwik Foundation for Performing Arts. The event, Swar Bhaskar 100, will culminate today with Jayatirth Mewandi's rendition of Pandit Ji's compositions. Arya Sangeet Prasarak Mandal has organized a musical program called Abhivadan at Ganesh Kala Krida Manch in Pune, Maharashtra on Saturday and Sunday.
Mile sur mera tumhara, to sur bane hamara. Sur ki nadiyan har disha se bahke sagar mein.
Pandit Bhimsen Joshi's disciple Anand Bhatt shared his thoughts on the talim style of the great maestro.
His talim was such that he not only taught me the Raga Sangeet as per the Kirana Gharana style, but he also gave me talim of basic voice culture like Onkar Sadhana, Mandra Saptak Sadhana, etc. He also used to give very valuable inputs about the performing aspects and the do's and don'ts in concert, etc. So it was an all-round talim, and I always feel that he was as great a guru as he was a performer.
Singer Meena Faterpekar shares a sweet anecdote from her childhood about Pandit Bhimsen Joshi.
When I was just 11 years old, my guru, Srimati Saraswati Bai Rani ji, who was my grandmother too, she wanted me to do a bhajan program. She shared this thought with Bhimsen Kaka. He was very happy to know this. He voluntarily said that he would teach me two of his very famous bhajans, Anuraniya Thokada and Tirtha Vichala. He used to be extremely busy in those days, but still he took out time for me. He taught me, and not only that, he saw to it that he graced the program by his presence.
To celebrate the musical maestro's life and music, Films Division will be screening his biopic on its website and YouTube channel today. Directed by eminent lyricist and filmmaker Gulzar, the 73-minute documentary titled Pandit Bhimsen Joshi is a candid take on the musical journey of this legendary vocalist belonging to the Kirana Gharana.
News Services Division of All India Radio in its spotlight will bring you a program, Sur aur Lay ke Samrat Pandit Bhimsen Joshi. This can be heard tonight on FM Gold channel and additional frequencies from 9:15 p.m. This program will also be available on our website newsonair.com and on our YouTube channel AIR News Official. Now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital will have thunderstorm with hail. Mumbai will have partly cloudy sky. Chennai is expected to have fog in the morning and partly cloudy sky later. Kolkata will have mainly clear sky later. Srinagar is likely to experience partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night. In Jammu, the minimum temperature was 12 degrees Celsius, while the maximum will be around 17 degrees. Leh will have generally cloudy sky. Gilgit will have generally cloudy sky. Temperature will hover between -2 degrees to 12 degrees Celsius. And Muzaffarabad will have partly cloudy sky becoming generally cloudy towards afternoon or evening or night.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. As per the ICMR survey, some cities reaching herd immunity against COVID-19 have given a renewed hope. The Pioneer on its front page headline writes, 22% Indians carry coronavirus. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited gets contract for 83 light combat aircraft in 48,000 crore rupees deal, reports The Hindu. Government fends off global clamour on farm stir, asking them to ascertain facts, observes Hindustan Times. Budget effect, 50,000 the new benchmark, writes the Economic Times, as foreign inflows help extend post-budget rally to third straight day. A Times of India headline says, GMR Adani among 9 in fray for 6.5 thousand crore New Delhi station revamp. Bezos to step down as Amazon CEO. Jassy named successor is a headline in almost all the dailies today. No contracts government jobs for protesters, orders Bihar government, writes the Asian Age. And finally, to attract tourists to Lahore Valley, a 2-month-long snow festival is being organized, reports the Tribune.
And in some more news, in Jammu and Kashmir, the traffic authorities have decided to close the 270-kilometer-long Jammu-Srinagar National Highway, the only all-weather road connecting Kashmir Valley with the rest of the country, on every Thursday for the month of February for maintenance and repairs instead of Friday. As its first Thursday today, the Jammu-Srinagar National Highway will remain closed for any traffic. General public and drivers are advised to adhere to the traffic restrictions. Earlier, the UT government had ordered to suspend the traffic movement on Jammu-Srinagar National Highway on every Friday for repair and maintenance of the highway. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Chora Centenary celebrations in Gurakpur district of Uttar Pradesh at 11 a.m. today. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh says India can be net security provider in Indian Ocean region. Prominent Indians including Lata Mangeshkar and Sachin Tendulkar support government's stand on farmers' protest. United States extends New START nuclear arms control treaty with Russia for 5 years. And year-long birth centenary celebrations of legendary classical singer Pandit Bhimsen Joshi begins today. For details of these stories and more, log on to our website www.newsonair.com and News on AIR app. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.